Well, well, well. Somehow, some way, Bears do it again. The cardiac Chicago Bears, huh? The cardiac Chicago Bears. They found another way to win a game that they probably should have lost, but hey, look, I'll take it. I will take it 100%. So I am not mad. Well, yes, I'm mad in the process of how we got here, but again, a win's a win, you'll take it. Um, Look, this wasn't the prettiest win. Yes, did Jackson Dart being hurt lead us to an easier fact to get a W because we went up against Russell Wilson? Yes. But again, you take advantage of the opportunities. It's the Giants' fault that they keep running Jackson Dart, and obviously Jackson Dart has shown he can't stay healthy. And it comes to the thing with these young quarterbacks, which we've been seeing, whether it's Jaden Daniels, Jackson Dart now, or any of these young quarterbacks that are coming in. It's great that they got mobility, or like JJ McCarthy too. It's great they got mobility, but when they're always getting hurt because one, they're just not getting down and they're just taking too much hits, well, then that adds into the problem of why they can't stay healthy. So you'll take advantage of the opportunity when Jackson Dart is out because I gotta give respect where credit is due. Jackson Dart fucking killed us. And I legitimately thought Dennis Allen was getting out coached flat out. And honestly, the Bears coaching staff did get out coached today. Ben Johnson got out coached by the Giants defensive coordinator. Freaking Dennis Allen got out coached by Brian Dable today. And again, I know Dennis Allen doesn't have the personnel available to him, but he just getting out coached, man. He getting out coached. When I'm seeing Jackson Dart run all over the place. He's been doing this for weeks, right? Been doing this for weeks. Where is the spy? Why are we not having a spy on this guy? To me, why is there not a spy? Tremaine Edmonds not spying this dude? Because legitimately, like at some point you could see, like, okay, they're gonna run the ball more, and they're not gonna stop running the ball until you stop them running the ball with Jackson Dart because they were getting absolutely nothing in the first half from their running backs. Then all of a sudden, in the second half, the Bears defense just lets up and let the running backs get whatever they wanted because they were so afraid of stopping Jackson Dart. And when you have these quarterbacks that are mobile and you can't do shit, it makes it a lot harder to stop. And on top of it, he's throwing dimes over your head. And it's just frustrating that for the first couple of drives, you make this dude feel uncomfortable. You get him in that mindset, and then all of a sudden, this dude Darius Slayton makes one freaking crazy ass catch. Props to Darius Slayton. He made a crazy ass catch, and then all of a sudden, the Giants' offense is within rhythm. Like, I understand this defense is god awful, but my God, at some point, you just got to say enough is enough. And I do think Dennis Allen got out coached. He got bailed out because they put in Russell Wilson. And we know what Russell Wilson is. He's a washed quarterback. And rightfully so, the Bears started to blitz more and get pressure. Now, why we didn't decide to blitz more on Jackson Dart and get that pressure right then and there, I don't know why. But hey, that's all right. We're just going to sit back in our fucking zone and think that the rookie quarterback is not going to pick us apart. Even though he's shown he can pick you apart. He did play in an air raid offense under Lane Kiffin in an SEC school. So you should not be shocked if that's the case. So I don't know why not Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen changed the scheme up of blitzing more heavily against Russell Wilson, but you don't want to blitz all heavily against Jackson Dart. See, where I'm gonna do the 6-7, right? Still don't even know what that means, right? I don't even freaking know why are we not doing that. Young quarterback who again still is young in his NFL career. Why are we not blowing that offensive lineup? And why are we not blitzing? You could see that some of these damn offensive linemen for the Giants, they couldn't pick up some of these blitzes. That makes no sense. Like, if you know he's going to take off and run, are you really that scared of him taking off and running? Well, I don't care, bro. It comes down to the problem. Get off your dang blocks, go make a tackle. If you close up the lanes by bringing a lot of rushers, there ain't nowhere for Jackson Dart to run around. Because guess what? You're containing the pocket. Especially on these simple quarterback draws or these read option plays. The Bears couldn't start the read option like it was nothing. Dude's running basic college read option plays, and dude's getting untouched for touchdowns. This Bears defense is fucking atrocious. They again allow a mediocre offense to go off outside of, a mediocre offense. Got no Cam Scatterboo. They ain't got no Malik Neighbors. They just got Jackson Dart willing them all this way. And they almost, if not for Jackson Dart getting an untimely concussion, they probably would have won this game because realistically, the Bears defense could not stop Jackson Dart to save their lives. Because then all of a sudden, I see Russell Wilson in the game. I'm like, wait, what is he doing in the game? And then you have Pam Oliver on the broadcast talking about how he's being evaluated for a concussion. Oh, my goodness. This Bears defense, man, is absolute garbage, bro. Dio is a waste of the amount of money we paid him. Grady Jarrett is a waste of amount of the money that we paid him. It's funny, dude. CJ Gardner-Johnson, we picked off the fucking couch, is providing more on this defense than two guys that have been here since fucking training camp. He's getting more sacks than Grady Jarrett and Dio combined. Dude, we just pick up right out the freaking scrap heap. Already doing more for this damn defense than whatever I'm getting from some of these acquisitions Ryan Poles made on the defensive line. Again, I'm going to probably continue to say this as the weeks go on. But again, it really goes to show me that clearly the first two picks of this draft, we're going to have to go massively invest in the defensive line. And number one, again, like I said before, I'll say it again. I don't care what defensive lineman is rated on your board or what player is rated on your board. The only go-to options that you should be drafting is either left tackle or defensive edge rusher. And if that's the case, you take the best player available on the fucking board. Not according to your board, the best available player that's on the board in the consensus, whether he fits your scheme or not. You need dogs on this team. It's clear Theo Benedict is a problem, right? Theo Benedict is a problem, and he definitely does his best to hold on. And Caleb Williams making these crazy plays to get out of sacks from his blind side to get rid of the football, right? You'll take that. But that's a position of need that needs to be addressed. He's clearly not the answer. Kieran Amanagaji is not the answer. We already know Braxton Jones is not the answer. So you got a left tackle problem. While everything else on the offensive line is fine. Your center to an extent is fine. Tooney's fine. Jonah Jackson, who's massively improved his play, has been fine. Jonah Wright, arguably, is your best offensive lineman on the team. But other than that, you need a defensive edge rusher. And one that is damn near a game wrecker. Like someone on the levels of TJ Watt, Max Crosby, Micah Parsons, all these type of game wrecker defensive end rushers. It's like, oh no, you know you're not going to mess with these guys. We don't need this average, he can get to the quarterback type of dude, right? And I don't even, again, I don't know if I saw the guy who we even acquired get any snaps. If he did, I guess I didn't hear his name because that means he proved absolutely nothing. But this is what I'm talking about. You take the best available dude who you know is a game wrecker. None of these guys we got on their defensive line are game wreckers. Montez Sweat is not a game wrecker. He's starting to look like he's a nice complementary edge rusher to have on your team, which means he's getting paid way too much money to be that type of production. He got another sack today, but regardless, he is not wrecking the game. He's not the guy that's getting up in freaking Jackson Dart's face, wrecking a game for a quarter and a half and making a difference on that defensive line. That's what we need. We need somebody on the levels of TJ Watt, Max Crosby, somebody like that, that wrecks games. It don't matter. You can put your best offensive lineman on this dude, and the defensive line dude will still get the better of him because that's how much of a game wrecker he is. We don't got that on the defensive line at all with the Bears. Plain simple, it's soft. This zone defense is shitty. I don't understand, man. You're not confident enough to trust, you know, your front seven to get home where you just stick with the freaking 4 down rushing and you leave in a zone while you're getting picked apart. I'm really starting to think like I'm watching the Eberflus defense. Like at some point, when is enough enough, bro? When is enough enough? Dennis Allen, make your freaking adjustments. And guess what? I don't care if you get beat over the top. I'll live with that. Because guess what? You're playing man defense. Start blitzing and get some pressure on the quarterback to get him down or make him get the ball out of his hand faster. Yet we're sitting in this freaking cover 2, cover 4 base defense because you don't trust whatever reason, for whatever reason. I guess you don't trust Nahshon Wright to cover on his own. Well, then guess what? That's on your freaking backup. That's on your GM for not addressing the position and not getting another cornerback you can trust in the passing game defensively. Nahshon Wright shouldn't even be getting reps. Why he's still getting reps to this day, I have no clue. He dropped an interception, which would have prevented the freaking Giants from getting those those field goals, that field goal at the end of the first half. He could have played out, dropped it. He had it in his hand and he dropped it. So if you don't trust Nahshon Wright, then go play somebody else, please. If that is the excuse why we're sitting back in the zone because we don't trust Nahshon Wright, then, dog, what else do you got to do? I'll just say this. The Bears' deep secondary better play a much better game than they've been playing because you're playing the freaking Vikings next week. Because here's the case. That offense does look slightly better, but JJ McCarthy's, unlike the first game where he's going to struggle for like 3 freaking quarters and then turn it on in the fourth quarter, he probably going to be lights on from the jump because we see how bad this freaking defense is. Tyrique Stevenson has regressed back to weeks 1 and 2 where he's getting picked piece by piece ever since he came back from the injury. So I don't know if he's still hurt and he's still lingering the injury he's lingering, but Jesus, there's times in this game I'm watching Tyrique Stevenson, he's getting cooked. On the flea flicker play that, for whatever reason, Jackson Dart decided to check it down to the tight end, Tyrique Stevenson got beat over the top. If Jackson Dart sees that, that's a touchdown. Tyrique Stevenson, since coming back from that injury, bro, he has played and regressed back to weeks 1 and 2, where he's getting picked apart, and you know, oh no, you need to get his ass out the game. But you got to stick with him because you ain't got nobody else better. So that's why I hope next year in the draft, Brian Poles is not looking at this saying, oh, well, we need to go get some DBs. No, Ninja. You want to know how to make your DB's life easier and make them look better? You go out there and you go get a pass rusher that is a game wrecker, that dang near is always in the backfield every single time. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we need. But this defensive game plan, I'm struggling to understand what this whole thing was about. In the first half, you did the right thing. You shut down the run completely to make the Giants one-dimensional. And then once you make the Giants one-dimensional, that's when you send the dogs and you go get Jackson Dart's ass. But see, we stopped the run, but see, Dennis Allen failed to account for the fact, let's not go send the hounds on him. So, listen, if I'm in that press conference room, I'm going to tell Dennis, I'd give Dennis Allen a question like, look, man, I understand, obviously the focus is on this week, right? But again, you're going to another young rookie quarterback. Last week you guys managed to stop the run in the first half, but, you guys didn't really get after Jackson Dart, which made the Giants at that time one-dimensional. Like, why was there no urgency at that time to go after the quarterback? Maybe send a little bit more blitzes, maybe get a little bit more pressure on him now that you know that they're one-dimensional. Because that's the whole thing, right? You saw on the second drive before we got the field goal, Yeah, the field goal, right? To make it um no, to get the touchdown, right? The first touchdown in the comeback to make it 2017, right? You saw the Giants knew we were one dimensional. They knew we weren't running the ball. What did the Giants do? They started blitzing us like crazy. Yes, Caleb made all these crazy evasions of these sacks, but you knew what they were doing. They're saying, I don't care. We know you're one dimensional. We're going after to get you on the ground, right? So why didn't we do that? That's what I would be asking. See, and dumbass Chicago Bears media won't be asking questions to the coach like that. Like, why are you not? Why in that situation in the first half when you clearly stopped the run? They had negative 3 yards rushing, right? The question would be, I would be asking this, why was there no sense of urgency to go after Jackson Dart, go after a young quarterback who's in his rookie season and get after him and start sending the house on him? Like, that's what you're supposed to do. When you make things a one-dimensional, you know what the plan is. You trust your DBs to hold up backfield, and then you say, you know what, Tremaine, Noah, get up in there and you go blow this dude up. Because guess what? If we're sending 7, maybe 8 guys, guess what? The Giants can't block all that up front. Eventually get home. So what's the point of being afraid to get, pieced over the top because you got weak corners that can't really cover good? No point in that. You made them one dimensional in the first half, and we're not going after this guy. You let this guy settle into a rhythm and get comfortable, and then he was confident the rest of the game. It's the exact same type of game plan we had against the Vikings. For 3 quarters, we got after this dude, got in his head, and then all of a sudden, one completion, we start sitting back off in the zone to play off. And like, okay, let's respect this guy a bit. We respect him too fast, and then guess what? He's completely confident. So that's the question I'll be asking Dennis Allen on Thursday. If you manage to stop Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason on the run and improve on that, and you hold the running game, are you going to send the Hogs on JJ McCarthy? I understand he's a mobile quarterback, and he's a pretty strong one at best. But at the end of the day, whether he's mobile or not, you got to go after him and go get him. You condense the pocket. You tell your edge rushers, condense him, make him know where to go. Because guess what? Where is he going to go if the pocket's condensed and there's no lanes for him to take off and run? So I hope that's the thing. If you manage to stop Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason next week, send the Hogs. I don't care. If Justin Jefferson, who will probably have a great game with the fact that freaking Jaquan Brisker won't shut up, beats us over the top, fine. That's on your DB not winning his one-on-one battle. But I'd rather take that chance than letting JJ McCarthy pick us apart piece by piece when we're playing a base zone defense because you're afraid to get beat over the top. This dude, Dennis Allen, was applauded being more aggressive type of coordinator than Matt Eberflus was, and he's playing the same exact defense that Matt Eberflus is playing, sitting back in the damn zone. Now, again, I don't know if that's because he don't trust the personnel that he's got to work with, but at some point, you just got to be like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to do what I typically do, and that's get the pressure on this cat. The defense got to be better, bro. But what do I expect the defense to do? They're getting pieced up because they got no defensive line pressure. So that's why I'm saying the first few picks needs to be defensive line. Defensive line. This defensive line needs to massively improve, bro. We need to cut some of these dudes get off the roster because they're getting paid way too much money. And on top of it, you just need to go get a pass rusher for once, opposite of Montez Sweat, that is a game wrecker. And gets consistent pressure. Not gets pressure here and there, gets consistent pressure. For all I know, Dennis Allen got out coached against Brian Daboll. His only saving grace was that Russell Wilson got into the game. Too many times where I'm seeing guys wide open. Too many times. Jaquan Brisker was a safety getting beat over top. He made a great play to stop the one tight end from catching the ball by ripping it out, but he got beat over the top. I'm like, dude, you're a safety. And then Noah Sewell, man. Dude, I don't give a shit, bro. Tell tell Edwards, bro, put that shit in a cast and play. Because guess what? I think Edwards with a cast or a club on is better than a freaking Edward than a freaking Noah Sewell. We had an opportunity in the game where they don't have to get those 20 points, right? Right? They don't probably get those 20 points if Noah Sewell doesn't make a tackle. Noah Sewell missed a tackle in the backfield on 3rd and long on a simple check down. Didn't even attempt to wrap up and make a tackle. Just missed him, plain and simple. See, and it was clear that they were picking on Noah Sewell all game today. They knew, oh, that's the weak linebacker. See, that makes him wondering, like, dog, you ain't got nobody else better at linebacker. Shit, give Ruben Hippolyte an opportunity and see what he's got. But it really goes to show you, again, a failure in Ryan Poles. Why are we signing injury-prone Edwards, TJ Edwards, bro? TJ Edwards, I need you to stay healthy. This is what I'm talking about. Some of these injuries, man, also account to diet. Maybe these players need to be on a better diet. Maybe the health, maybe the training staff needs to get these players on diets to keep them healthy for a full season. Because guess what? Noah Sewell is not it. Noah Sewell is not it. The more he gets opportunity, because he keeps getting picked on. He's not good enough. He's showing why he's a backup, if not special teamers at best. So there's that. That's all I got to say on the defensive side of the ball. They were just flat out atrocious. They got so lucky that Russell Wilson had to come in. So lucky. Now, I would only say probably the best defensive player I saw out there today was probably CJ Gardner-Johnson again. Another week where he's putting in work. He had 2 more sacks, and then he had a forced fumble today, which led to Jackson Dart having that concussion. So you'll take CJ Gardner-Johnson doing what he's doing. And honestly, CJ Gardner-Johnson in 2 weeks, I don't give a shit, man. He's earned himself another contract to come back next year. He's earned himself another contract. And he predominantly plays safety for frick's sake. You can just re-sign Kevin Byard, and then you can let Jaquan Brisker walk and just have CJ Gardner-Johnson play safety. Because guess what? He's definitely playing better than Jaquan Brisker. I'll tell you that. So honestly, I'm down. CJ Gardner-Johnson has played good football, in my opinion. In the 2 weeks he's out here, Ben got off the couch. He's played 2 great weeks of football. So honestly, I let Brisker walk. You have CJ Gardner-Johnson be the safety next year. Offensively, man, outside of maybe Caleb Williams, because Caleb Williams, again, is the magician and he willed us back to win this game, I thought everything else wasn't good enough. Offensive line, I thought was fine. Jesus, man. It was a brutal day for the wide receivers. I'll get into that in a second. I can't really blame the run game. DeAndre Swift had a nice, good carry. Monongai had a few nice carries, but for the offensive struggles we had today for like those 3 quarters, bro, I blame that on the fucking play caller. I blame that on Ben Johnson. I love Ben Johnson. I'm glad he's here. I do think he's the head coach of this team for the future, where he can be a head coach for a decade here. I don't know what type of Ben Johnson we got today, but this definitely was like Matt Nagy levels of play calling. I don't know what the hell Ben Johnson was calling today. There was no rhyme or rhythm to what he was calling. There's just play calls out there where you're scratching his head, where you're scratching your head like, bro, why are you calling this play call in this situation? Why are you doing this in this situation? And I hope when I go back and watch the press conference, he calls himself out and say he did not have a good game today. Caleb Williams bailed out his head coach today. Like, he bailed out his head coach with the plays he was making on the field today. And I know some people are going to look at the stat line and think, oh, Caleb Williams didn't play too good today. No, bro. Caleb Williams was doing what he's only being worked with, right? He's only doing what he's being worked with, what he's got to do. What the play call dictates, he's doing what's asked of him being called. And Ben Johnson just was calling some bullshit today. Let's just be honest. This is probably his worst game as Bears head coach as a play caller. I just don't understand what he was calling today. The Giants coming in this game had the worst rushing defense. Last week, you ran all over the ball. You ran all over the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, I'm coming into this game, especially with the weather conditions. It's cold, it's windy, snowing. I'm thinking, oh, this is a great game to run the football, especially against a team that is one of the worst run defenses in the NFL today. And we elect that first drive, we passed it like more times. We only ran the ball twice. And I'm just like, why are we passing the ball? Why are we not sending the identity of running the football? And of course we didn't. There was no commitment to the run. There was no commitment to the run. And I'm just going to need Ben Johnson to understand because I don't need him to turn into Matt Nagy, where Matt Nagy, we knew he neglected the running game. When we knew the identity is to run the football, that's the whole thing. But see, we want to be a pass happy league. We want to try to get Caleb Williams to get his whatever completion percentage and the 4,000 yards passing. Those are all secondary to me. Your identity is running the football. Why Ben Johnson did not commit to that, I have no clue. No clue, absolutely. We should have been running the ball, especially the way your defense is playing. You should be running the ball so you're going to have a lot of time of possession, and you should have these long time extending drives because you know that defense on the other end can't stop a parked car. Like, how are we not understanding this? You need, as a head coach, you need to understand your personnel. If you're going to be the head coach and the play caller, you need to understand your personnel. You know your defense struggles to get stops. The only way they get stops is here and there, or especially due to turnovers. You know you need to run the football, can't make that time of possession go up, have these long drives to give your defense as much rest possible, and you need to run the ball and wear the opposing defense out. Because when you're up late in games and you need to get a first down, when you got 2 minutes left to go, and you need one of these long drives so you can kill some clock, burn their timeouts, and you win the game, you commit to the run from the moment the game starts. And Ben Johnson did not do that. I don't know if that's a factor because DeAndre Swift is back in the lineup and you're not really carrying it with Kyle Monangai, who I don't know why we completely go away from him too. I didn't think he'd get enough carries. I don't have to put up the stat line. He didn't get enough carries. He got one touchdown, nice. But it seemed to me that freaking DeAndre Swift was more in the backfield than Kyle Monangai. And then I'm remembering, okay, yeah, that's why I don't like DeAndre Swift. Because he's doing this whole dancing routine crap and cutting back when he should just follow the hole and just go right up the hole and just run through his freaking offensive lineman. But no, that's what Kyle Monangai does. He trusts his blockers and he just hits the hole. You have DeAndre Swift just dancing, dancing, dancing. Now I remember, oh, you know what, actually, it is a positive that DeAndre Swift is gone. So you completely go away from that. I don't know if that me and DeAndre Swift again has something to do with not committing to the run, but I don't know. Give Kyle Monangai more carries and run the ball more. Completely go away from it. It puts only more pressure on Caleb Williams to try to escape all these sacks and throw all these passes and things like that, and you're not helping out your quarterback who's young. Like, for frick's sake, man. Have a commitment to run the ball. And again, some of his play calling was just complete dog shit. We get all the way down to the goal line, and I don't know what he's calling at all. The second down, he runs the ball up the middle, gets stopped. And I'm like, dude, why are you wasting a play call? Put the ball in your quarterback's hand. And then on the third down play, he runs. Apparently, he's supposed to be a goal line fit. I don't know. And it's weird because the snap again was high again. I'm just like, huh? What are we doing? You got another like these short the goal line, play calling is again, it's still questionable. Some of these short yardage situations, it's questionable too. Like there's many times we had questionable moments where we're electing to pass on like third and short or something. Where is like a simple sit route, a hitch route, or a slant, or a simple out route? Like, for example, first drive of the third quarter for the Giants, dude. We get them at third and freaking short, right? Third and short. They have a like dual set look, right? Or a stack look, and you have the freaking receiver lined up behind the one receiver, just run a simple measly out route while the Bears defense was off coverage there. I don't know why, but I'm like, why can't we do that? Simple routes to pick up a simple, easy 2 yards if you're not going to run the football. Where's the slants? We're going away from the slants? Again, going away from the identity. Why are we not running the ball? Why are we not giving carries to Kamanan guy? Where is the freaking tight end that was player of the week last week that gave you the raw game-winning touchdown, was amazing last week in Colston Loveland? Where is his plays? He got some plays in that second half thrown to him, but where is that from the jump? Right now, the one issue I have with Ben Johnson is it's always a week-to-week thing with this guy where he tells us in the media he understands what needs to be doing, but then he gets to the game and he's not doing what we're asking for. You drafted this dude at the 10th overall draft pick. Feature him more in the offense. Give him freaking ball. You saw what he did last week. Is it because Cole Kmet was back today? We're not going to really feature him much? Because politics? I don't care. Cole Kmet's got 0 catches too. If clearly Colston Loveland is your tight end that you need to get the ball to and tell him get out, give him the ball and get out the way. There was times where Caleb Williams went to Colston Loveland. And Colston Loveland made the catches. He was probably the one receiver that didn't drop any passes today. That's what I'm talking about. You drafted this guy highly. Use him. It isn't that hard. These fucking receivers, man, they're really starting to become a problem, bro. I think Joe Davis and Greg Olsen, they brought up so many times that Caleb Williams' stat line would look better. His completion percentage would look better if not for these damn receivers dropping all these dang passes. DJ Moore, from what I remember watching, he dropped 2. He dropped a screen pass, which one? Can I just say, can we phase that screen pass out of the playbook? One, why are we throwing the screen pass all the way to Theo Benedict's side? And also, why when we do these wide receiver screens, every defensive edge rusher knows what's coming to the point they're almost picking it off. That type of screen pass needs to be thrown out of the playbook, bro. Because every single time we threw that screen pass where Caleb catches it, he throws straight to whatever receiver right there. There's always a defensive edge rusher right there, either batting it down or about to pick it off. Every single time. Why do we keep running that one play? Stop it. It's so predictable. All these teams now have it on film. Stop running it. My God, one of these days, if you keep running that, it's going to get intercepted and taken to the house. And I'm going to blame that not on Caleb. I'm going to blame it on the play calling because you keep running that play. You've seen it week after week after week after week where you got these defensive edges on that screen pass. They don't even worry about the offensive lineman. They just go right here and like, okay, we're either going to bat it down, we're going to pick it off, take it for 6. It's going to happen at some point. It's going to happen. And hopefully that means that's going to be when Ben Johnson finally throws it out of his playbook and doesn't run it again. But every time I see that type of screen, it's always almost getting intercepted. It gets past Brian Burns, but DJ Moore drops it. DJ Moore dropped a touchdown on a beautiful ball by Caleb. Drops. Ramadunze had another drop today, albeit, yes, the ball could have been placed a little bit better, but it still hits him on the tippy top. You're a freaking number 9 drafted receiver in the draft last year. Catch those footballs. Yet his dad was complaining. And funny enough, on that first off in the drive, we gave Rome some few catches. So hopefully today, Ramadunze's father is shut up today. He got his touchdown. He got a few catches. Hopefully that makes Ramadunze's father so happy today. Now tell your son to stop dropping passes. I think Chad Johnson said, hey man, I need to meet up with frickin' Ramadunze. I hope he does. And I hope Chad Johnson tells him, hey man, you know, you need to stop dropping the balls. Because you're a legit receiver in this league if you stop dropping passes. And then fucking Olamideus Zaccheaus, bro. He had a bad game a few weeks ago, bro. This by far it was his worst game. And honestly, by far, this is the type of game you want to set the example to the receivers and not dropping passes. You cut Zaccheaus and tell him, thank you, Zaccheaus. You've been a great help, but go somewhere else, please. We're done. Zaccheaus dropped a touchdown pass from Caleb Williams. He dropped a pass in the middle of the field. He dropped a simple out route. He dropped everything. And that's again on the coaching staff. Why was he not benched? Why was he not taken out? Why is he still getting reps in the game? He dropped like 4 or 5 passes a day, and I'm still seeing him on the last drive, still in the game. He should have been benched today for his performance. But then I'm looking over here, seeing Luther Burden, when he gets the ball thrown him, he's catching everything. He cut the same exact out route that freaking Zaccheaus dropped. He caught a comeback route on that last drive that set up the roll for the touchdown. And I'm over here when I'm like, wow, a receiver you drafted high in the second round. He's catching passes and he's fighting for extra yards. Who would have thought? Maybe if you find a way to get him the ball other than Zaccheaus and give him more reps, maybe your offense can actually be a little bit more explosive. Who would have thought? And this is what I'm talking about. We got to stop playing the politics, bro. Like, guys like Luther Burden and Colston Loveland, those are dudes you drafted high. Why are they not getting any touches? Why are they not getting play calls drawn up for them? Why are they not doing nothing? This was a perfect game where after the one pass, I think Zaccheaus dropped. I think that out route he dropped. That's without me. If I'm on the coaching staff, I'm telling him, hey, bro, you're sitting down, bro. You're not playing. You're done. I'm telling Antoine Randall on the headset, I'm telling him, hey, L, let Zaccheaus know he's done. Tell him to take off his helmet. He's done for the day. Tell Burden to get ready. Because this is his opportunity. That's how you reward opportunities to your young players that you quote unquote say you trust, but clearly you don't trust enough yet. Like this dude is supposed to be, I guess you could say, our Jameson Williams in this offense. Like, frick. We need to be giving him some touches, some catches. You see, he was catching the balls. Again, Colston Loveland caught passes. I don't see that from the other receivers. All the other receivers, whether you're DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Rome Odunze, and now OZ, they're all dropping passes. The only reliable pass catchers I see is Luther Burden and Colston Loveland. They don't got a drop issue. And yet we don't even feature these dudes. We neglect them like if they're another piece because they're rookie players. And you see what happens when we actually target them. Good things happen because they're not dropping the ball. They're catching it. They're getting yak and they're moving the chains. When you look at the combination of OZ, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and Cole Kmet, I've always seen them almost every week, at least all the time, drop a one pass. Not helping out their quarterback. So when are we going to hold them accountable? Are we going to start finding these guys? Because I think that's what we need to start doing. We need to start taking money out of their paychecks. They're going to keep continuing dropping these passes that the quarterback gives them, and they're good passes. Just imagine if all Zacchaeus catches that ball. You know how much people talk about that? Man, that's a dot by Caleb. But you're going to have the narrative that, oh, Caleb Williams struggled for 3 quarters. Well, it's not his fault. His receivers were dropping the balls all over the field. He's giving them balls to catch, and he and all these dudes dropping. You could see on the TV screen, Caleb Williams getting frustrated with these guys. I don't know how he wasn't getting on these dudes' faces. Like, hey man, catch the fucking football. I'm giving you guys the ball, and you guys can't catch it. Like, he should have been up in their faces. He should have been up in OZ's face. Be like, hey man, I love you, bro, but you gotta catch the balls I'm throwing to you, bro. I'm giving you these balls where only you can catch and you make a play on. Catch the football for me. Help me. Help me so I can help you. But again, like usual, Caleb Williams, man. Dude, every single week, dude, it continues to show me he is that dude. He is that guy. And you got to give him props. You got to give him props. He is that freaking dude. And my God, he is that dude. Again, like I said last week, I was 100% confident that we go down the field and score because he's done it before. He shows he can go down the field, get us a clutch touchdown, get us a lead, and win us a game. And obviously, we do know he's a good quarterback. When his receivers are helping him, he's good. He's even better. He's as advertised. So I'll go watch these game recaps, and some people may call out Caleb Williams for his poor play, like for the first few quarters. You can't blame that on him. He's putting the ball where the ball needs to be placed at. Yeah, there are a few overthrows, yes. The Rome Odunze crazy throw, if that was caught, overthrow. Even though other Rome Odunze thing was a little bit of an overthrow. But he's still putting the ball in these receivers' hands that with a chance for these receivers to make plays. These receivers just got to make the fucking plays. They got to catch and bail him out. Getting paid millions of dollars and they're dropping passes. On top of it, Caleb Williams is special enough where he's evading all these sacks and everything, and he's doing what he needs to do. Yeah, I did like the fact that he ran a lot more, and he needs to continue to do that. Like when you're evading the sack, honestly, I just say evade the sack, just go run, pick up what you can carry. Right? But he's always going to look for the pass first, and then he's going to take off and run. And again, we got to give credit where credit's due. This dude's escaping sacks from Kayvon Thibodeaux and freaking Abdul Carter. For all the fact that when we had Justin Fields, we admired how strong he was breaking out of sacks. Caleb Williams is, honest God, just as strong as Justin Fields was, bro. He's breaking out all these sacks, even if it's an incompletion where he just throws it away, right? He's still finding a way to get out of these, sacks because he knows he can't get sacked. And Caleb Williams, yet again, is showing us, you know what? He is probably going to be that dude for us. We have a little bit more consistency offensively. Jeez Louise, man. Like I said, lock this guy up long term. He is clearly the best quarterback we've had in damn near a long, long time. Maybe the best in this team's history. That's how much of a game changer he is. And again, you're going to have some people hate on him. Oh, he didn't really look too good for those 3 quarters. Well, watch the game. You go out back and watch the game. You'll see the drops. Oh, actually, that is a pretty good thrown ball. His receiver just ain't making the catches. Oh, his play caller is really not helping him out, not putting him in favorable positions to succeed. Yeah. Is there something Caleb Williams still got to work on and get better on? Yes. But it's not his fault that his play caller is calling some of these dumbass plays. It's not his fault that his receivers can't catch the freaking football. But at the end of the day, guess what? Through that, he persevered. He gave his team. He still threw the ball to his receivers, believed in them. And again, albeit OZ dropped the ball across the middle of the field, right? He still trusted OZ to come down with that pass. And then what did he do? He worked his magic. He runs for a big gain, and he gets the touchdown. Caleb Williams every single week convinces me that he is the dude. He is the guy. He is the one. And when this offense is working on all cylinders, we're going to be good. So honestly, for all intents and purposes, even in going to next year, we know the one thing we definitely do know about him is this. He's clutch. When it's time to say, hey man, we need to go out on the field, get a touchdown or go get a field goal, he puts us in positions to do that. That's one thing we can 100% say with confidence. He can do at a high clip, at a high level. Even if we're playing a really good team, we're still in it. I still trust him to get down the field and find a way to get into the red zone. And at least get us either 3, hopefully 7. So that's the one thing I will give credit. Caleb Williams, honest to God, is my MVP of the game today. I think, if I were to hand out another game ball, it would probably be CJ Gardner-Johnson, and that's it. Outside of that, Caleb Williams and CJ Gardner-Johnson probably the only two that deserve the game ball. Everybody else didn't really do much of anything to deserve anything. And again, like I said, when I go watch the press conference, I hope Ben Johnson calls himself out, said I didn't do a good enough job play calling. I hope on Thursday, Dennis Allen says he didn't do a good enough job play calling and he got out coached. Because frankly, if not for this Jackson Dart injury to happen, we would have lost this game, and it would have been a pretty embarrassing loss. Because that's what it was looking like. It was looking like this was going to be a very embarrassing loss when we're down 20-10. And luckily, the football guys were in our favor today. Jackson Dart gets hurt, had a concussion, and we found a way to win. Again, another game we found a way to win. These are the things that are making this team grow. Because now, we're finding ways to win now, albeit we don't know if these type of wins where you come from behind to win are going to translate into W's, because that's the whole thing. But again, you're battle tested. We're facing adversity. We know what to do. And that means we can't give up at any point in the game. And that's what's changing the mindset. You'll take wins like this. Now, if we're playing, obviously, a playoff contending type of team, games like this, we're losing when we're probably getting blown out. And that means you just got to play better, right? On all aspects. But against teams where you're better than, and, wins like this you'll take, even when you play down to the Giants' measly competition. Because that's what we did. We played down to the Giants' competition, their level, if not worse than that. So props to the Giants for at least for 3 quarters, they took advantage of our mistakes. But that's the problem with the Giants. The Giants are like what we were last year. Incompetent coaching. And on top of it, it's the whole mindset of well, how can you close up the game to win the game? They're not good at closing out games. They're not good. That Denver Broncos game was their version of the Washington Commanders game for us last year. We were up, we found a way to win and hold on, and we had a big lead. Or just a lead in general, and you let the opposing team, who had no chance of winning this game, go back, win, and stun you and beat you. That basically ended their season for all intents and purposes. And that left a damning that just left basically a linger, because now it's like now they're in the same situation like we were last year. We put ourselves in these favorable positions to win, but we can't close the deal and we can't win the game. So for Giants fans who are watching this game recap, trust me, I know we were what you guys were last year, where we do everything right for a good 3 quarters, and then it gets to the 4th quarter, we can't close the deal. We can't do something right. So all that shows me is that Brian Daboll is going to get fired. He's going to get fired. And he probably will get fired by the end of the season, because essentially enough is enough. Because guess what? These guys are not going to listen to the players. The players are not going to listen to their coach anymore. They're already like, we lost another fucking game that we should have won. What the hell? And this dude, what is Brian Dabble going to say? No, Brian Dabble's going to get fired after this season. He's going to get fired. Even though they drafted a quarterback, he's going to get fired. I don't know about the GM, but you can make the case that the GM could probably deserve to get fired too. But see, the Giants, be lucky that the Giants are what we were last year, finding ways to lose games instead of finding ways to win games. Luckily for us, we escaped and we found a way to win another game. And I'll take another close win. Again, that's adversity hitting the wall. I would love to see a convincing win for one of these moments, like that Cowboys game early in the season. But when you got a piss poor defense that can't stop anybody, you're going to be in a dogfight. And unless the offense, isn't scoring points, then, we're in trouble. That's the thing. Defense is putting the offense behind the 8 ball if we can't get stops, and the offense needs to put up freaking points. And we can't do that, and we're struggling. We're kind of going through the motions. Well, that's the case. Albeit I'm no believer in J.J. McCarthy. They still got to put an offense. The way we play defense, J.J. McCarthy will pick us apart like he did in that fourth quarter. So, we'll see, man. We'll see. Hopefully the Bears can play a better game against Minnesota next week as they played in week 1. And hopefully they can get revenge on that week 1 loss that they had, because they know damn well they probably should have won that fucking game. Because you win that game, you're 7-2. But look, I'll take 6-3. It's been a long time since we've been 6-3. The cardiac heart attack Bears give me heart attacks, but at least they find ways to win. They find ways to win, albeit in the ways of looking terrible sometimes. But look, man, you'll take these W's. You'll take these W's because it's only going to help the team better in the future when they are a better team. Because that means, you know what, you can win these games. So, plain and simple. Team just needs to play better against inferior opponents. So, we got the Vikings next week. I think they are an inferior opponent, even on the road. So, Ben Jones got to be in his bag against Brian Flores' defense and get some touchdowns, man, or just get points in general. And the defense, look, man, they just got to play better. So let's stop the run and just make that offense one-dimensional. Because guess what? The Vikings are not a good team this year. They're not. They're average at best. So that's all I got to say. But I said enough what I need to say. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Chicago Bears content or any other sports content I upload to the channel. But till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day or your night. I'm this video, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.